Welcome to the Live Full, Work Fun podcast. This is the show to encourage you to live your life to the fullest and do fun work that fuels your lifestyle. Hi, I'm your host, Gayla Scrivener. Every week, you'll be introduced to amazing guests, useful resources, and inspirational stories. You'll discover opportunities and perspectives to shape your version of living full and working fun. Hi there and welcome. I am proud to have on today's show Dr. Phildra Swagger. She is president and CEO of Combined Expertise Incorporated, a coaching and consulting firm established in 2006. As an International Coaching Federation credentialed coach, Dr. Swagger empowers her clients to reach new heights across individual and organizational spaces. She works with clients to design strategies to ignite success and take action that yields desired results. Her collaborative approach to achieving success rests in her motto, combining our expertise to maximize yours. She often shares insights and inspirational experiences from her professional, industry, and client-based network on her popular podcast, Swagg University. Dr. Swagger began her 30-year career as a classroom teacher and served as a principal, district administrator, university instructor, and charter school founder. Dr. Swagger's passion for teaching and developing others was evident in the teachers, administrators, and leaders she mentored and coached during her career. Then she took a leap and left the traditional educational system and created her own coaching business. During our conversation, you'll learn why she took that leap and how she lives full and works fun. So, without further ado, let's hop right into my conversation with Dr. Phildra Swagger. Well, hey there, Dr. Phildra Swagger. It is a joy to have you here on the Live Full, Work Fun podcast. Thanks for joining me.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here. It's always nice to chat.
Well, before we get started too far in getting to know you better, I would love for you to share a fun fact about yourself that wasn't in the bio.
Fun fact. You know what? I love to walk, right? And that seems like, well, who doesn't? It's a thing of life. But I love to walk. I love to walk as a part of my morning routine, part of my fitness. It's almost like walking meditation. You know, it's like I can just connect with myself and quiet the world. But the fun fact around walking is that I have completed 3 half marathons.
Really?
And people think you have to run a marathon. You don't have to run a marathon. You can walk a marathon. You can jog a marathon. You can run a marathon. Just cross the finish line. And I have crossed the 13.1 finish line 3 times.
Oh, congratulations. Yeah. That is awesome.
Yeah, I love it. It's, it's kind of annual goal, and I invite girlfriends to come along. And so I've gone from 1 girlfriend to 2 girlfriends. The last one I did, I actually talked 4 people into joining me, women who were like, no, I won't say they were on the couch, but like, are you sure we can do it? So yeah, walking is my personal renewal, and a half marathon is a personal challenge, and I'd like to bring other people along. So
that's inspiring. I'd like to start with, what made you change from working in traditional education to going out on your own and creating your own coaching business?
Well, I've been in education, or had been in education for 30 years. And I always knew I had this 5-year shelf life, is what I used to call it, right? It was like I needed a new challenge. I needed to reinvent myself, change positions or whatever. And I, of course, started out as a classroom teacher, went to administration, went to district office, founded charter schools. But in my last post, I was the vice president at a national nonprofit, and we had 45 programs in 10 different states. And I used to travel all the time, 60-70% of the time I was somewhere. I was in an airport, leaving an airport, headed to an airport all the time. And I have high school age kids. They're high school now. And I just realized that I had prepared myself at the PhD level and pursued a career so that I could give them the best life, or the life that I thought was the best life. Like you can have more comforts than I had growing up. And I looked one day and I realized that I was missing it. They had all of the stuff and the comfort, but not me. And I said, wow, I'm out here traveling and building schools. So that I typically worked in underserved communities, so low income, high minority. We had schools in like St. Louis, and now St. Louis has some really nice areas, but they also have some high crime areas. And I'm here in Florida, and so there's pockets. But nonetheless, I felt like I was building schools and doing things to help make sure that other people's children had opportunities. And I was about to miss out on what my children needed, and being able to see that. And so I decided that I could still serve and be an educator from a different post. And I decided that I would come home and offer my expertise from here to help other people who maybe are starting their career, or maybe 15 years in their career, or 20 years in their career, but they still want to build and do those things. Take my 30 years of experience from education, building programs, securing dollars and funding, and offer that to people in a space that I could be present in my life and be present for my husband and present for my children. And so the transition was an easy one. It was time to do something more fulfilling and more aligned with my initial intent, my true purpose. And that was to build a life that had an impact on those that I love most.
Well, what makes work fun for you?
I get to work with just the women that I talked about, the wonderful, remarkable leaders who mostly are female, who are committed to uncovering their real lives, their intentions, and aligning their business goals, their professional lives, their careers with their personal lives in a 360 perspective. I work with women who want to be the CEO of their life and not just the CEO of their company. And so it is very exciting to work with women, talk with women about all of the contributions that they're making, the journeys that they're on, and how they can up level that by really getting still.
Getting still, what does that mean?
Well, like myself, when I say I had to recognize that I was missing out on my family, take the time to stop to, they say prayer is when you talk to God, and meditation is when you hear him speak back, right? Or whomever your higher power, right? For me, it happens to be God. So that's my point of reference. So getting still enough that you can hear that small voice of God, that small voice of your higher power, calling you to do more authentic living, more of what you were designed to do, more of what brings you joy. I like to say, when you can hear what makes your heart sing, and then dance to that tune. Yeah, so that's what being still is: moving all of those external distractors, moving all of those things and attributes, influences that you believe make you who you are, and just peeling back the layers, peeling back the onion, to see what is that seed? What's my true intention? What are my core values? What's the big picture that I want that's not all of these broad brushstrokes of life that I've created?
I love that, because that to me defines living a full life. You have to step back and figure out what that means. And I find it interesting that you said that you were on what did you call it? A 5-year.
I used to have a 5-year shelf life.
A 5-year shelf life. So many people are afraid of making a change, a major change, because they feel like, well, there's the unknown, but you might get into a career that you figure out after a period of a shelf life that it's not what you want. Can you speak to the fact that how can you gracefully transition or why you should transition and figure out what your higher calling is.
Why and how? Why and how? So I think the why and how comes down to this is my answer.
That's all. That's
This is how I
wonderful.
know, right?
Yep.
So for so long, I had a career where, and I think this is most women, we seek work-life balance, right? Work-life balance is a myth. Okay, work-life balance is it's a mystical equation. There's nothing that if you put 100% into your career, that means that everything else is zero. If you put 70% in your career, then something is 30%. That means that you're failing at it. If it's 50-50, you're living a mediocre life, right? Because it's just on average, right? And that's balance. If that's what you're seeking, balance is 100%. So that was an awakening for me that work-life balance is a myth. It's not going to happen. What I seek is alignment. And when I realized that alignment comes from faith. Like, I think work-life balance is this thing that you hope for. And hope is wishful thinking, to be quite honest. It's a word that we are trained in. It's like, hope for better. Oh, I hope that you feel well. I hope that you can do more. Well, that automatically, in my opinion, conjures up the negative as well. Because if I hope that I can be slim, I hope that I can, that means that I am automatically standing in the fact that I'm overweight. I'm not slim. I'm not at my healthiest point. I hope that I could be this, that I am not. But if I operate in alignment, then alignment to me is built on faith. And faith is what? Faith is the existence, the proof of what is not seen, but it's there, right? It is moving toward alignment because you have this bigger purpose. And so faith with works manifest. So if you come into alignment with who you are and have the faith that you are able to accomplish it, which is a belief in your own self, a belief in your power, a belief in the divinity in you, then you can manifest that, right? Faith without works is dead. And so if you come into alignment, and the mantra that I work with my women I call boss chicks, is clarity, alignment, and discipline. And that produces abundance. It produces success. It produces joy. It produces whatever. So get clear about who you are and what your intentions are, what your mountaintop vision, your life goal is, right? And then come into alignment with that. And that way you will attract the things that align with who you are. And so when you're ready to leave a job, your 5 years is running out and you go, well, I'm an educator. Because for me, I've always known I was a teacher, period. And so I would always say, well, I'm a teacher with extra degrees. I'm going to work with you to learn, more. I'm going to learn more. Even as a coach, I feel like I help people learn who they are and what their role is and how they contribute. So it's a different level of teaching, right? A different format of teaching. And so when I embrace that I'm gifted as a teacher, then those type of opportunities come to me. I don't have to necessarily know what the next shelf is. I know that there's a new shelf. I know that there's a new next step, and those things manifest in my life because I reach for them. I live in that space, that energy to be open for new opportunities. And so when the question was why and how, the why is that this no longer fits. Striving for work-life balance no longer fits. That did not work for me. Coming into awareness, being still enough to know what does work for me and what resonates with me, what aligns with the life that I believe I was created for and the life that I want as my mountaintop view, then I begin to operate in that. And that's the alignment that allows anyone to draw new experiences to them, draw a new network around them. That's the how. The how is to be present enough that you're willing to do the work in the energy of who you are so that it produces what you really want in your life.
I love that perspective. I've never heard anybody explain it like that and define hope and faith in that manner. That is amazing. That kind of blew my mind. I love that. I love that. Starting your business,
Mhm.
I mean, running a business is hard. Life is hard, but what has been the biggest challenges in growing your business?
In growing my business, the biggest challenge, I believe, was again making that shift to a really embrace alignment. Because it's funny, coming out of a career and coming out of academia, I was at the university for a little while. I was, like I said, a vice president. There is a lot of mindset that a brain, and I'm not going to call it that. There's a lot of baggage that you have to unload in order to be authentic and be present. So for a while, I didn't want to work with business leaders and executives and talk about the value of manifestation, the value of intentions and vision, because I didn't want them to think I was hokey. People go, oh, here she is with that woo-woo stuff. Well, I'm not woo-woo at all. I'll tell you that. I am very grounded in my faith. But I am also very pragmatic and strategic in how I help people develop their business. And so when I talk about being the CEO of your life, the challenge of shifting to understanding that clarity, alignment, and discipline is the very same message in business as vision statement, strategic plan, implementation. Same thing. Right. And so making the shift to own that and show up in that way and help other people have a moment and take a breath and say, yeah, I do want to be present for my family. And so my vision for my company is that I can grow a leadership team that believes in the business of the company, and I can begin to step back. I can actually say that time freedom is important for me and not feel guilty that I don't work on Fridays. I go to my daughter's dance recital on Wednesdays or practice on Wednesdays at 4. I leave the office. Give yourself permission to be present in your life. And that was a challenge that I had to face and had to get women to really give themselves permission to operate like that.
I had a friend of mine call it corporate think. And I had a long time it was a hard habit to break of the corporate think. And I hear you. And I love how you say, be the CEO of your life. And you need a personal mission statement and a plan and execute the plan. I love that.
Yeah. Execute the plan for your life. Your life should help drive your business, not your business driving your life. When your business is driving your life, you're out of alignment. I personally think you're out of alignment because you're going to do that thing one-dimensionally,
Yes. And I think sometimes we fall back into either old habits or we get onto a cycle and stray away from our mission. So I think it's important to always have that in front of us. Now, you mentioned Boss Chicks. Tell us about Boss Chicks.
Oh, I love Boss Chicks. Boss Chicks, again, are the women that I work with. And Boss Chicks stands for brave, optimistic, savvy, successful, creative, highly intelligent, career-minded women, right? Career-minded sisters, I should say sisters. And so I work with them individually, and I also run groups, which we call the inner circle, because there are so many, I don't want to say so many, but it's corporate think again, to use your terminology, that you have to have this huge network of people to be impactful. Well, really, you don't. What you really need is an inner circle of people who matter to you and people that you matter to, right? And so in the inner circle, what happens is that I work with quarterly. You can enroll in the Boss Chicks program, and we have no more than 15 women. Those 15 women meet on a regular basis, share in a confidential circle, the things that are going on in their businesses, going on in their lives, and we coach around those topics. We bring in experts to share their experiences, their journeys around business, around service, around finance, around, we've even had a person come in and actually just talk about parenting from a CEO perspective, right? What does that look like? And so we build a network of 15 women who care about you. And I'm not going to say our age, at my age, you don't make friends at the same level or rate that you used to make friends for, because you do have other life responsibilities. So every relationship needs to be a quality relationship. And this is how we serve each other. And so Boss Chicks is a community of like-minded women who are interested and committed to creating wholehearted, using Brene Brown's words and research, a wholehearted life, living wholehearted, living out loud, so that their why, their intentions are the center of their life, so that they can be the CEO of their lives. They can have a 360 experience. Their work, their businesses complement who they are. And then they have resources to take it to excellence.
How does one be considered to be a boss chick?
Well, there's an application on my website, which is www. Do people still say www?
Sometimes not.
Yeah. So phildraswagger.com or Combined Expertise. My firm is Combined Expertise, which goes right to the boss chick. We combine our expertise to maximize yours. We combine the energy of the boss chick community so that everyone benefits. But you can go there and apply to be in the next boss chick cohort. They start once per quarter. That's the first step to get in, or you can just reach out and talk about becoming an individual client. And we kick off this year, of course, coming back from the pandemic, we have annual retreats, one in January, February, which is the year of my transformation retreat. And that's where we do our visioning. I'm saying visioning, but let me talk about, is that okay if I talk about visioning for a moment?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so at the beginning of the year, everyone wants to do a vision board, and you're going to hang it up on the wall. And guess what? By the end of the year, you're going to be 50 pounds lighter. Nope, that's not how we teach vision boards at all. A vision board is a tool that you can see where you want to go, right? But again, when we talk about faith and work and having the tools of clarity, alignment, and discipline, a vision board requires work, right? If you just put a vision board on the wall and hope, again, wishful thinking, that you're going to lose 50 pounds, December is going to come and you're still going to be the same weight, or your business is not going to grow or whatever. But if you create your vision board and you put, that image of yourself and the steps that it's going to take for you to lose 50 pounds or to add 50 people to your network, then guess what? You're going to come into alignment with the work that's required to manifest the goals that your vision board represent. And that's a strategy that we teach around vision board. Yes, vision board, but understand the work that's required to have those goals. The vision board is a goal. It's a picture of your manifested goals. And then what's the strategies that you will put into place to have that vision come to reality. So we do that at the beginning of the year retreat. And then in June, July, we have a reset retreat, and that's a check-in, like how's that board coming? How are those goals coming? And sometimes this is another great time to say, I need to go to another shelf. I need to make a transition. That was the goal that I had in January, February. I already accomplished it. Or that goal no longer fits me because in March, I really got still and I realized that what's important is X and it's not a number in the bank. The number in the bank is a goal. The money is a tool. And so what's in the bank, what that tool allows you to do is the intention that you want to really think toward, right? Do you want financial freedom? We all want financial freedom, but do you want to be able to send your children to college because that changes your trajectory? Do you want to be able to, invest in something that is going to have an impact in your community? That's what you are putting a number on so that you can do this larger thing. And so that may shift for you between January and June. You come to a place of understanding that. And then in the fall, October, November, we have our Finish Strong, Start Stronger retreat. And that is the look back over the year to see if you were able to achieve those goals that you stated at the beginning of the year or that you reset in January. And since it's the beginning of Q4, then you have time to actually close it out before the end of the year and be ready to have a jump start for the new year. Because what happens is if you wait to January or February to start your goals, you're already behind, right? So we want to give you some tools to finish up the year and tie things up in a great way so that you can get started next year running.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, Phildra, as we close here, I would love for you to share a favorite resource or a book that has made a difference for you, either personally or professionally.
I came across a little book. See if I have it around here. It's a small book. Have you read The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz?
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. So the 4 agreements, and I won't go into all of them, but one is be impeccable with your word. And the second one that resonates with me that I think really helps people is to not take anything personally. And by not taking anything personally, what he says is that it's not about you. Everybody has their own journey, right? Everybody has their own experience. And we all have, again, corporate talk, lessons and values that have been ingrained in us since we were young children. And those experiences bring a person to who they are and where they are at that moment. And whatever it is that you represent, that's the interaction that you have. And so if you free yourself to understand that it's really not about you, it's about their experience, then you can understand their experience a little better. You can understand how you operate in that experience and how you can contribute in or elevate the person based on your interaction with them, being their authentic self and you being your authentic self, and knowing that those are two separate but present experiences, right? So that book, The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, is a powerful read. And then I think that's the most current book. I also like Brene Brown's work in The Gift of Imperfections. The Gifts of Imperfection. That's another quick read. Of course, she has a whole bookshelf of her own.
She sure does. She sure does.
But that's one of the early ones. And that's where she introduces the idea of wholehearted living. And that's a really good read.
I will have all of your contact information. You mentioned your website and Boss Chicks, and I'll have those links in the show notes, as well as how folks can follow you on social. But I'd like to end with, people can also get to know you through your podcast. Can you tell us a little bit about your podcast?
Sure. That would have been a really good place to start, huh? Swagg University is my podcast, and Swagg University is a place where I have these conversations just like this. I love talking to leaders, executives, women, and actually I have had quite a few gentlemen in the guest seat as well. But what we talk about is how to up-level your life and to bring that 360 perspective so that your business is satisfying, that your life is satisfying, in bringing a satisfying business and satisfying life together to help you produce joy, joy that gives you power and strength and focus, right? Helps you create the clarity, alignment, and discipline that you need to operate as a boss chick. And so Swagg University can be found on any of the typical podcast platforms. And what we really do is talk about how to next level your life in all areas of your life so that you operate as the CEO of your life. So Swagg University, and that's with 2 G's. My last name is officially Swagger. It's so funny. I meet people. They go, is that your real name? Oh, that's a cool name. And it's like, it was never a cool name until it hit a song, right? Jay-Z made it. I cannot get anything branded in my name because everybody wants swag. And so Swagg University has 2 G's.
Well, it has been a pleasure having you on the show today. Thank you for spending so much time with us.
Thank you for inviting me. It's always a pleasure. And I hope to extend the same invitation to you to come by and talk to the Swagg University audience and just get to know our family.
That would be wonderful.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for joining me today. I do encourage you to scroll down to the show notes for all the links and connect with Phildra. I'm a huge fan of her podcast, Swagg University, and I think you'll like it too. You should go and have a listen. How about you follow me over to the Live Full Work Fun Facebook group and post what's your biggest takeaway from my conversation with Dr. Swagger. Well, see you over there, and until next time, have a fantastic week.